Mama's gotta eat theme song. What's up, Nate?
What's up, Nate? Today we're making something a little more advanced, so maybe we will push our boundaries a little bit, which is exciting. We're gonna make sushi. It's vegetarian, and sushi is great because you can kind of put anything in it. You can mix it up. We've put like steak in ours before. You can do any kind of vegetable and flavor it however you want. So it's super flexible, really tasty. The foundation of the dish is rice, so we'll start with rice. For sushi, you have to have a special kind of rice. It's a short grain Japanese rice. It's pretty cool. It even looks a little bit different. We keep ours in a jar, but you can find it pretty easily at the store. Ours is labeled. And for sushi, you want vinegar in your rice. And the reason is because sushi has foundations. The word comes from like sour food. And so basically we want to add vinegar to our rice to make the whole dish a little more tangy. So we're going to start with the rice, pretty straightforward. It's going to be like vinegar, a little sugar, and then we'll prepare our ingredients. This evening we're going to be putting sweet potato, avocado, and cucumber into our sushi. So we'll prepare all of our ingredients while our rice is cooking. And then to actually make the sushi, we have a Nori roll, which is a flat sheet of seaweed. And we'll put the rice down on that. There, you can see there. We'll put the rice down on that and we'll roll them up. Traditionally use a bamboo mat underneath, and there's like a whole classic way of rolling sushi. But we kind of cheat because Paul has this thing, which is called the Sushi. It's a crazy thing that we started using a couple years ago, and it's like actually really amazing. You can just put the rice in this, put all your ingredients in there, and then you just literally push out this like log of sushi. It's crazy. So we'll see how that works later when we get to that point. So we're gonna start with our sushi rice. So the first step is we're gonna be doing 2 cups of sushi rice to 2 cups of water, and then we're gonna boil it, and then we're gonna turn it down to simmer for like 15 minutes. Once it's done simmering, we'll remove it from the heat, and then we're gonna add sugar and rice vinegar. But that's gonna be after it's fully cooked, and we'll just stir that in to flavor it at the end. Sushi rice has to be rinsed until the water runs clear. It's running clear now, so we're good. I like to tap it off just to get the excess water kind of gone. And then we're gonna pop that in our pot here. And then, so that's 2 cups of our rinsed sushi rice, and then we're gonna add 2 cups of filtered water. So we'll just pour that over our rice all together. And then we'll just put it on high, uncovered, bring it to a boil. Once it starts to boil, we'll turn it down to a simmer and go from there. Okay, now we're gonna prepare some of our ingredients that are gonna go in the sushi. We're putting sweet potatoes and cucumbers, both of which need to be peeled and chopped before they are ready to be used. The potatoes we'll peel and we'll cut into little matchstick size pieces, and then we're gonna bake those so that they're ready to go. We're gonna do the same thing for the cucumber. The reason that we peel the cucumber especially is because a lot of vegetables from the grocery store have a wax coating, so we don't really want to eat the skin of this. Sweet potatoes, a little different. You can definitely eat the skin. However, these are not organic. We usually try to buy organic if we're gonna consume the skin of a vegetable, and since these aren't, I'm just gonna peel the skin off anyway. So we'll do that and then get the sweet potatoes ready to go into the oven. Okay, so it just came to a boil, and then we will turn it down to a simmer, and then we'll cover it, and we'll check it in 15 minutes. So we're working on cutting these into matchsticks, which these are even a little bit big, but I don't want to do the extra work to make them any smaller. And the oven is preheated to 375 so that they'll be ready to bake the sweet potatoes. We're tossing ours in a glaze that we found on the internet, but for simplicity's sake, you can just toss them in olive oil and salt just like you would any other roasted vegetable. So we just spread out our matchstick sweet potatoes out onto our pan for baking. They're in as thin of a layer as possible. We don't want them all heaped in the middle of the pan. And we're just gonna pop these in our preheated oven for 10 minutes, and then we'll flip them and then cook them for another 10. We just went off for our sushi rice. You can see it's like really beautiful and fluffy, well cooked. I think we're good. Some of it seems to have stuck to the bottom of the pan, but we got a trick for that up our sleeves, don't worry. So we're just gonna remove it from the heat And then we're gonna add some ingredients to make it our sticky sushi rice. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of sugar and 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. Then we're gonna give that a good stir. And then we recently learned that to get any rice that's stuck to the bottom of the pot off, you should just leave it covered for 10 more minutes. And it'll heat up and no rice will stick to the bottom of your pot.
Action.
Okay, these potatoes need to cook for 20 minutes total. It's been 10. So we're just gonna grab a spatula, wooden spoon, whatever you got. Pull them out. Mix them up a little bit. And then we'll put them back in for 10 more minutes. So we just cut the cucumber into matchsticks, and now we're prepping the avocado into little slices as well. So we just pulled the potatoes out of the oven. Because of the glaze that we use, they're not super crispy. They're a little bit just soft, but they're totally cooked. And if you just use olive oil and salt, they'll probably be a little more crunchy, which could be appealing in sushi. But anyway, these are all cooked, and we're just gonna leave them out on the counter to cool. And the rice is also still cooling. We need all of our ingredients to be basically room temperature before we can roll them into a sushi roll. Now we're gonna make our sushi rolls. So as you can see, this is what it's gonna look like. So we have our necessary ingredients. We have our nori, we have our fillings, we've got our sticky sushi rice, and we've got this tool here. So there's traditionally you use a bamboo mat to roll sushi, and you can definitely do it that way, but this is super easy. It's like $10 online. Definitely makes it like a pretty simple, straightforward process. Basically, you put sticky rice into both sides of this guy. And then we'll add some fillings. Okay, and then with this guy, we are missing a piece of ours. But basically this goes into here. There's little notches, fits there. And then we're just gonna fold this over. Latch it, and then there's usually a piece that goes on the edge to flatten it. So we're just gonna use this glass because that's really all we have. And then once the edge is flat, which this one kind of got a little away from me, but that's okay. And then you just squeeze it out onto your nori roll. And the nori is shiny side down. The nori is the seaweed piece. And then you just start to roll it. Then we have a little water here. Get the fingers wet and wet this edge so that it'll seal once you roll it. And then we'll wet this edge as well. And then there you go, sushi roll. Take a sharp knife, give it a slice. Sushi. Hope you enjoyed the video. Happy cooking. Call us if you have any questions.